Welcome back everybody. I hope you're all doing well. So I'm going to start making some more cards. I've got a blank piece of paper and some of my natural inks, and I'm just going to start with a abstract splashed background. So you could use any inks you've got or any watercolours or whatever you like, any paint you like. I just like using my natural inks for backgrounds. So we're just going to splash away to our heart's content. So now we're ready to begin the next part of our cards, and what you'll need is some twine of varying lengths. Now this is twine that I had left over from attending a macrame course, a pair of scissors, a paintbrush and some wallpaper paste or any type of glue that you have handy, preferably watered down if you're going to use a PVA glue. I find wallpaper paste works really well for this. You need twine of different lengths, because the twine is going to make our tree trunk and then our branches. So because the twine is quite thick, you need to start off with just pulling it apart into smaller strips. That way you can build it up as you want, because when it's too thick it doesn't tend to stick too well and it's too bulky. And you can always layer it up if you want more texture. So you need to just chop some different lengths of string. So you can't see that on camera, but I'm just cutting the twine into varying different sizes, some of them really small and like a centimetre, so that you've got some little twigs, and some about an inch, and then varying different lengths along that depending on how big a tree you want. So I've sectioned the paper into 6 because I want to make 6 cards. So it depends on what size of paper. This is probably about A4 size. And then all you need to do is start putting your twine into your glue, and just use your paintbrush to kind of paint the glue along it, and then just stick it to your paper in whatever shape you like. I'm building up the trunk first of all, and once the twine is wet with the glue, you just stick it down and then use your paintbrush to kind of push it into the shapes of the twigs that you want. And you can use either a pair of tweezers or the end of your paintbrush to separate the strands even more into branch shapes. And you can be as creative as you like with this process. It is quite a messy process, you do get quite wet, but don't worry about the glue getting onto the paper, because you can just remove excess with your paintbrush or just smudge it in. And if it's the wallpaper paste, it just dries completely clear and you can't see it at all. If you're using PVA glue or anything like that, it might dry with a slight sheen. So this is why I prefer wallpaper paste for this. And it does dry hard, and it doesn't really change the texture of your paper too much, and it gives a really good finish. But of course it's not waterproof, but then you're doing it on paper. So basically just carry on, just keep building your tree and moulding it until you've got shapes that you like. So once you're happy with your tree shape, because I've used white twine and it's not standing out too well on this paper, I'm just going to add some inks whilst the twine is still wet, just to kind of dye the twine a little bit, so when it dries it will dry a little bit darker. And you can add paints, you can paint your tree at this stage or leave it as it is. It's entirely up to you how you do it. Now I've used quite small trees here because these are just on small sections of paper for card, but I've also done this on canvas with large pieces of twine and different colour pieces of twine. You can just go to town with it really, and wallpaper paste works perfectly well on canvas and it dries really hard, and you can get some really beautiful effects if you do this. You can use whatever background you like. I used to use leaf prints as a background on the canvas, and then using long pieces of twine depending on the size of your canvas. I just created some fantastic tree shapes, and you can let the wallpaper paste dry out overnight and then go back in the next day and add more and more layers to make your trunks really build up and bulky when you're doing it on a canvas or on a larger sheet of paper. And you can go to town with it and create a whole woodland and really intricate designs. But because I'm just doing this on paper for cards, I'm keeping it small and simple with a nice inky background. So I hope you have a go, and let me know if you do have a go on Instagram, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.